Hello, everyone, and welcome to your Digital One class. My name is Dr. Kevin Dunn, and I'm just going to give you a little introduction or an overview of the course. Just remember that this video is made in July of 2020, and if you are in a future class, I will be using the same video for that. So just know that the dates may be different for you, so make sure you always follow the dates in your course, not the dates in this video. So I hope you follow along, and I'll see you in class. Hey, so this is the Digital One course, and if you're in Digital Two, of course, yours is going to have different assignments and dates, so just make sure you follow the assignments and dates in your actual course, but the layout's pretty much the same. Just want to make sure I make that clear. Remember, the dates in here are not the same for what you're going to be doing. This may be shown in the future, so you're going to follow the dates as you see them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about what's on the top of the screen. The top of the screen has this book, a calendar, a message like a conversation bubble, a little piece of paper, and an envelope. So the first section is the default section. That is your course content area. That is what we're looking at right now. It has all the content for the course laid out right here below you. The next one is the calendar. So if you click on calendar, it's going to take you to the current date in a day view. And so there's nothing due on July 2020 when I'm recording this. But if I go to a month and I go to August, which is, like I said, when we're recording this, you'll see that on the 25th, I have a syllabus quiz due, or you have a syllabus quiz due, and you have to have it turned in by that date. And then we have some items on August 30th that are due, a lab 1, a lab 2, a lesson 1.1 homework, and there's 2 other items. So if you want to know just when things are due, you can look at the monthly calendar view. If you want to see more details about that day, if you just click on the date, the box, and you'll see there's nothing here, but if you scroll down, it's going to say by 11 p.m., which I make everything due at 11:59 p.m. on that day. So by the August 30th, 2020, in this case, you're going to need to do lab 1, lab 2, lesson 1.1 homework, lesson 1.2 homework, and a module 1 exam. That's what's due on August 30th for this right now. Like I said, your dates are going to be different if you're watching this in the future. If you want to look at the month again, you can go to month view. And I don't think it'll show anything else because I've got everything else hidden. Oh, it does. It does show you. No, it doesn't. It doesn't show you anything else because everything else is hidden. The only one I have showing is the first module. So you would have more dates here once the class starts up. The next one is this conversation bubble. If you point at it, you'll see it says discussions. If you click on that, there is a general questions discussion board. If you click on this, you can post questions, and these are questions that everyone's going to see. And if you want to post a question, post it here. Just know that everybody will see your question and anyone can answer your question. Please don't ask about answers for homework or tests or anything like that in there. It's strictly for something's not working. How do you get the simulation software? Maybe you're having issues. If you have a question about the class, anything like that goes in here. I'll be checking this regularly, but your other students your fellow students may also see this area and be able to answer you as well. The next one is the Gradebook, and you'll see there's not much here right now, but right now it just has the Unit 1 kind of things, the Module 1 items, and you'll see more here once as the class opens up. So you can see you haven't opened any of these things. I haven't looked at them yet. So if you've actually opened them and done them, it'll say you've done them or completed, and then your grades will be right here. And the last thing is the messaging section of the class. It's like the envelope. If you click on that, you'll be able to stay up to date with any emails I send out. You'll also, when I make the class available, you'll have a plus sign in the top right-hand corner right below the envelope. If you click the plus sign, you can actually send me a message through Blackboard. I would much prefer you send me a message through Blackboard than through email. This way, everything's saved in Blackboard. It tracks, if you send me something. So if you say I sent you something and you never replied back, if you send it through Blackboard, I will be able to see if you really did send me something. If you send it to email, I may miss it. You just never know. It goes to junk sometimes. Sometimes it's sent to weird places. Who knows? So just make sure you go through the Blackboard messaging first. If you don't have any luck here, then you may want to email me or do both. Do both. Send me a message and an email if you really want to. So let's go back to the content, which is the first one, the book icon. There's some icons or some sections on the left-hand side of the class you can go to. You'll notice this is different than the original course view. You can view everybody in your course by clicking here. You can join the collaborate session. So if we're going to do a synchronous session where we're going to be talking live, which I don't do in this class, but if you want a one-on-one session to talk about something in the course, you're having problems working something out, that's where we're going to meet. So that's where you're going to join up for that live collaborate sessions. Like I said, we don't really do that. We don't have these scheduled in this course, but you might if we have a meeting or some kind. You can view your attendance here. I don't take attendance, but if you want to, you can. If we did, you could do that here. Groups, we don't do groups in here either. But that is an option that's there. Announcements, any announcements I post in class will be sitting here. So when you first log into the class, any new announcements will pop up on your screen. You have to dismiss them. If you want to go back and look at previous announcements, that's where you go to see those. Your book and tools information, really not much you need to do there. Don't even worry about clicking there. And then you can connect your OneDrive account. That's literally if you use OneDrive pretty regularly and you want to like save all your homework assignments in OneDrive and then copy them over or submit them from your OneDrive account, you can do that. Or you can just upload them directly from your computer. It just depends on how deep you use OneDrive. I use OneDrive for everything, so I connect mine. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's just another option for you. So let's go into the course content itself. So we have your how to use Blackboard Learn Ultra. That's the course view you have right now is Ultra. I'm using Ultra for all my courses now. So it's basically why does the things look differently? So these are just some areas you can click on about submitting work, reviewing your grades, some general directions about Ultra if you want to look at that. Not graded, don't have to look at it. I'll never know if you looked at it or not. You can skip it if you want to. It's whatever, but it is helpful. Then you've got the Start Here section. And Start Here, I've got it set up to where it opens in a sequence. So if you notice, these have little locks next to them, and only the very first one is open. So if I click on the first one, it's going to look at the course overview. And this is going to talk about what Digital 1 is, Digital 2 if you're in Digital 2, or if you're in the capstone, it'll talk about what the capstone's about. And it'll go through competencies and some tips and things like that. So if you go to the top, usually it's at the top. Sometimes it depends on the device you're on. Sometimes it'll be at the bottom, but if you're on like a phone or something, it may be at the bottom. But you're going to click on the next, just your arrow over. Just click on the next one. It's going to go to the next section. And here's my information, contact information, office hours. Just message me or email me for an appointment. You can also go through Starfish if I have appointments in there. We'll meet through either Microsoft Teams or Collaborate. Probably since we're in the class, we'll probably just use Collaborate. But I can also meet at Georgetown, Leestown, Newtown, or Winchester campuses in person if you want to meet in person. I know a lot of people right now are wanting to meet online, which is actually easier and more flexible for me if I meet you online. But if you want to meet one-on-one for some reason, then we can meet at any of those campuses. Just let me know in your email some good days and times that you can meet, and then I'll work around it. If I can't do those, then we'll work on something. So I'm going to go to the next one. Just click on the course description. Just read through this. This is the video you're going to see right now. That's what you're watching. And I'll actually send the link. That way you'll see it before we start. So anyway, that's this video. If you're watching it through here, you've already seen that. So if I go back, if I just exit this, you'll see that these now have green check marks on them. And this one has it's not finished yet because I haven't looked at it. It's open, but I haven't looked at it yet. And the other ones are still locked. So once I go through all these, then it's going to make it to where, once you've clicked on everything here, you can take your syllabus quiz. And the syllabus quiz is just asking questions about the syllabus. So you may make sure you read the syllabus anytime you take a course, read your syllabus. You may want to have a copy. You don't have to print it, but just have a copy open on your computer so you can refer to it through the syllabus. The syllabus quiz is not hard. I didn't make it to where I'm being nitpicky about details. It's just kind of just general questions that you should know. I want to make sure you know before you get into the class and actually get started. And then this is that same discussion board, the Journalistic Questions. So if you don't want to go, let me minimize this. If you click on it again, it'll close it back up again. So if you don't want to go through discussions up here at the top to get to the general questions, you can just click directly here and it'll take you to the same thing. So just know that's an option. Now, normally you will not see modules open up, but I made module 1 open just so I could show you around. Normally you have to take the quiz first. So the syllabus quiz is like your gateway, your key to opening everything else. Once you do your syllabus quiz, you have to score 100%. Once you've scored 100%, all the other modules will open up at that time. So if we look at module 1, it's numbering systems and logic gates. You'll see a module overview, and these are not in sequence. I didn't make these in sequence because I want you to be able to click around if you need to. But module 1, the overview for module 1 is there. I'm not going to click on it, but you can if you want to. And then this one's split up into separate lessons and then an exam. And then the test reviews, that's always going to be at the very bottom. This one is split up into lessons, but like module 2 is not split up into lessons. It's all one list of things. So sometimes they'll be split up into subdivisions, sometimes they're not. So let's look at lesson 1.1. And you see we've got an introduction to digital, numbering systems, and lecture notes. These are both lecture notes. And you can see I just kind of basically said there's maybe quizzes inside. They're not counted towards your grade. Just skip them if you don't have to do them if you don't want to. It's just a self-check kind of thing. So these are like class notes. And I'll click on one in just a second. These are, you notice I say watch the digital electronics video. These are both links. Actually, all three of these are links to YouTube videos. So if you click on the YouTube, will open up in a new tab or a new window, depending on how your browser is set up. But it will open up a YouTube video, and you watch those to learn. These are basically your lecture videos. That's how you would get your lecture in class. The same thing I used to do in class, I've got in videos. So these are how you actually learn how to do what we're going to do. Then you've got your homework. This one's lesson 1.1 homework. You've got a lab, which is not a nice fancy picture. I wish I could change that to, I don't know, something that represents a lab. But these are your lab assignments, and this is your just an online book. It's a link to a website. I don't require you to buy a book in this class, so if you want more reference beyond the videos and the notes at the top, you can go here, and it may help you out. I did not write it by any means, so it may not be the best solution for what you're looking for. You may have to actually just Google or just ask me, and I can either answer you or give you a good reference. So if the notes at the top, if you click on it, it opens in a new tab, and you'll see it's basically just highlights from the chapter. It's basically highlights, things you should know about just introduction to digital, okay? So, and there's that quiz. I do not do anything with these. They do not keep the answers. So if you do it and check your answers, you get them wrong, I won't know about it. So those are just self-check things. And if I do numbering systems and numbering system lecture notes, it's the same thing. You're just going to click on the pages. You can just click on the next page and it'll go through these. The videos, like I said, is going to open on YouTube. And then let's look at the homework. So lesson 1.1 homework. If I click on that, it's going to give you this screen. And it's basically just giving you details about when it's available. There's 47 points available in this particular homework assignment. The assignment's due on the 30th of August, and you have 2 attempts. I always give you 2 attempts on homework just in case you mess up one. You'll get another attempt. And there's 47 points, like I said. And then click View Assessment, and you're going to see a document. So this is actually how you're going to do your assessment. The first screen is just to make sure you know that it has a due date and how many attempts you have left. I almost wish Walter didn't do that. I wish it went directly to this page. I don't know why it does that, but there's nothing I can do about it. That's just how it is. So for this homework, to actually see this homework, you notice there's no link. I can't click any of this stuff. Go to the very side over here, and there's 3 ellipses. There's an ellipse. Just click the ellipses, and it lets you download the original file. And that will download, in this case, a Word file, a document. And you can also, if you need an alternative format like a PDF or whatever, you can do it here, but you can't fill out a PDF, so do the original file. Once you click here to download it, it'll download at the bottom, and then usually you can just click it and open it. And this is your first homework assignment right here. So you're actually going to fill this out in the lines. You know, you're actually going to complete this and type your answers in, and then save it. And once you save it, sorry, it's a different one. Wrong screen. Once you save it, you're going to do this section where you do use a space to build your submission. So you're going to add content, and then you're going to insert a file. So see this little paper clip right here? That's where you're going to insert your file. So you're going to click on the paper clip, and it's going to pop up with a browse or a find your file kind of directory. And I've got lots of junk here, but you're basically going to find your Digital 1 homework right here, the one you saved. And you're just going to say, is that the right file? You say yes. And then you're going to just hit submit at the bottom, down here at the bottom. So paperclip, find your file, and then hit submit at the bottom. Once you hit submit, it will send it into the gradebook. It says once you've submitted it, you can't edit it. Are you sure you want to continue? Hit submit. If you forgot to submit something, you've actually got one more attempt, so you can view your assessment and you can actually add another set of content to it, and just know that I give you 2 tries basically. So if you forget something, you can still submit it. Labs work exactly the same way. You notice there's 100 points per lab. You view your assessment and you do the same thing. 3 ellipses, download the file, down the original file, do whatever it says to do in the labs, just follow the instructions, and then you're going to add content and re-upload that file. Now we are using a software, that simulation software. It's called Logisim Evolution. It is a pretty good program. What you're going to do is most of the time you're just going to you're either going to do one of 2 things. You're either going to answer the questions in the actual lab document itself. This one right here, Lab 1, Introduction to Logisim. You're going to answer questions there and resubmit that to me. Or you're going to do the same thing. You're going to answer questions in the document, and you're going to submit a circuit file from the Logisim Evolution. You're going to save your circuit file and submit that as well. That will take, when you add your content, you can actually submit multiple documents. So let's say I want to submit this PDF file, I don't know, just the catalog, and we're going to save. And then I want to submit another file. Let's say it's the orientation notes, whatever. Those 2 files would be in a single submission. This is why I usually give you 2 tries, because sometimes people forget to do both things. So in one box, you can go ahead and submit both your answers to your lab and your lab circuit file. If you forget to do that, I give you the second attempt to do the one you forgot. So if you submitted the lab file and you forgot to do the circuit, then you can do your second attempt to submit the circuit. It's no big deal at all. So if you don't want to submit, you can hit save and close, and you won't actually submit the assignment. So you'll still have your 2 attempts left, or you can just hit submit and it'll submit those files to me. It'll double check to make sure you're done. If you're not, hit cancel. If you are, hit submit, and we're done. And then, this is, like I said, the online book chapter. So that's all you have to do for section 1. 1.2 has basically the same things. You have some lecture notes, you have 1 video, you have a homework assignment, and you have a lab assignment, and then you have an online book chapter. And then the module 1 has an exam. You're going to click that, and it's going to show you basically the same thing. 1 attempt, you only hit 1. It's due date and the maximum points, and you're going to view the assessment. And I'm not going to do that because I don't want you to see the questions. But you view the assessment and you just take the quiz and you basically submit it at the end. Once you do that, you can move on to module 2, which will be underneath module 1. It'll be the next one down. Test reviews are literally just that. If you look in this folder, there are review sheets. So this module 1 test, this one right here, module 1 exam, that's going to be this test 1. So if you do the review and the key, this will follow closely this exam. It won't be the exact same thing, but it'll be pretty close. It'll get you ready for it, and you can kind of self-test yourself. So if you click on the review, you kind of work that through yourself. Don't look at the key yet. Work out the review first. See if you can do it. Check your answers on the review key. Figure out where you went wrong. If you can't figure out where you went wrong, send me a message and say, hey, on review, test 1 review, question number 6 or page 5, I got this. How did you get your answer? And I'll help you out that way. So just know this is a good review. If you don't take advantage of them, don't do it. They're not required by any means, but I highly recommend you take advantage of these because they will help you out. So that is pretty much an introduction to the class. Like I said, if you're in a different class besides Digital 1, so I will see you online.